Good day, grade 4 learners. Are you now ready and excited to start our new lesson for today? Great job! So come on, get your pen, paper, and self-learning module, and let's start to learn and to love mathematics. Today, we are now in the quarter 3, week 5 of our learning competencies, in which, at the end of this lesson, you are able to determine the missing term or terms in a sequence of numbers, such as odd numbers, even numbers, multiples of a number, and factors of a number. And also, find the missing number in an equation involving properties of equations. But before we start our new lesson for today, let's have some review about what you've learned last week. So in our instruction, tell whether each of the following statements is true or false. Kindly type your answer or comment your answer in our comment section below. For the first one, a rectangle is a parallelogram. Is it a true or false? Okay, the answer is true. Very good. Next, a triangle and quadrilateral has 4 equal sides. Is it a true or false? Great. Is it a false? Because a triangle has only 3 sides. Next, a trapezoid has 1 pair of parallel sides. Is it true or false? Okay, the answer is true. For number 4, a square is both a rectangle and a rhombus. Is it a true or false? Okay, great job. Is it true? And for the last one, a quadrilateral measures 90 degrees, or 90 degrees rather. Is it a true or false? False. Okay, very good. It really shows that you understand your lessons last week. Now, we can go to another lesson, which is finding the missing term in a number sequence and missing number in an equation. So I have here a short story problem. Mara, a grade 4 student, is not aware of the proper way of washing hands. Now let us help Mara to know the steps on how to wash hands properly. So grade 4, are you ready to help Mara to identify which of the following are the first ones she needs to do in order to wash her hands properly? So I'll be giving you 1 minute to help Mara. Just type your answer in our comment section below. And your timer starts now. Okay, you have 20 seconds left. Okay, last 10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, let's see if we get the same answer. So, the first one is to wet our hands. The next is to put soap on our hands and then wash and then rinse. And then we need to turn off the water. And for the last one, we need to dry our hands. So as you can see, these are the following steps in washing our hands properly. Even in doing washing, we have steps to follow. So just like now in our topics, we have steps to follow, especially when we are finding the sequence of a number. So, thank you so much, grade 4, for helping Mara on the different steps on how she was going to wash her hands. The next question is, why is it important to wash hands properly? Are you washing your hands properly, especially now that we are in a pandemic stage? Can you type your answer in the comment section? Why is it important to wash our hands properly? Is it important? Okay, very good. So, it is important to wash our hands properly to remove all the dirt in our hands first, and also to prevent the entry of the different viruses in the different parts of our body. So, you should maintain, or you should always keep doing washing our hands properly. Now, let's have some definition of terms that we can use while we are discussing our lesson for today. So, we have here a number sequence, which is a list of numbers governed by a pattern or rule. And also the terms. Terms are the numbers in a sequence, such as this one. So, 2, 5, 8, blank, 14, and blank. So, the terms here are 2, 5, 8, and 14, because we say that a terms is the numbers in the sequence. And also, to find the missing term or terms in a sequence, we need to figure out the pattern or the rule. So, what is a pattern? Pattern is a repeated arrangement of numbers, shape, colors, and others. Now, let's have the first one, the pattern of figures. So, refers to illustration showing common relationships. So, let's try this one. So, can you please get your paper and kindly draw the next figure in this sequence. Okay, let's see if we had the same answer. So, for this one, our next figure is like this. Okay, did you get the same answer? Okay, good. Next, we have here an arrow going to your right, an arrow going to your left, up. So, what will be the next arrow? Okay, great. It's going down. So, as you can see, we have the pattern that we should follow to find the missing figure or the next figure. Okay, now, what can you see here? So, in this figure, we have the same shape, which is the triangle. So, we can say that the next figure is also triangle. But wait, can you identify the color of each triangle? So, as you can see, the triangle creates a pattern of colors. So, the first one is red, blue, green, and then red, blue, green, red, blue. So, what will be the next color of the triangle? Okay, very good. Is it the green triangle? So, for the next figure, so we have here a different shape. So, we have here circle, moon, moon, circle, moon, moon, circle, moon, moon, circle. So, what will be the next figure? Great, is a moon. Now, let's try if we have a combination of illustrations and numerals, such as this one. So, as you can see, we have different shapes, a combination of heart, circle, and parallelogram. And also heart, circle, parallelogram, and heart, circle. So, what will be the next? And also, try to look at the letters inside each of the shapes. So, as you can see, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. We have a sequence of our alphabet. So, what will be the next after H? So, in this illustration, we can say that the next figure will be parallelogram, which is letter I, and a heart that contains letter J. So, did you get the same answer? Great job. It shows that you understand on how to find the next figure in a sequence of a pattern. So, now let's proceed to the sequence of odd numbers. So, when we say add numbers, just like what you've studied before, add numbers are numbers that when divided by 2, leave a non-zero remainder. Or add numbers have the digits 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9 in their ones place. So let's try to look at this example. So what's next in the sequence of odd numbers? The first one, we have 37, 39, 41, 43. So what will be the next two numbers? Great, this is number 45 and 47. For number 2, we have here 89, 91, and then the missing number, 95, 97, and another missing number. So what will be our answer for that? Okay, great. It is 93 and 99. The next one, number 3, 101, 103, 105. And what will be the next two numbers? And then followed by 111. Okay, great. It is number 107 and 109. So let's have number 4. Okay, what is the first missing number? Followed by 123, 125, 127, another missing number, and then 131. Okay, so the first one is 121, followed by 129. Next one, 267, 269, and then blank, 273, and then another missing number, and then 277. So what will be the two missing numbers that we should have here? So first, we have 271, followed by 275. So all the numbers that we had is what we call an odd numbers. Now let's try to have the sequence of even numbers. So what is even numbers? Even numbers are numbers that when we divide it by 2, leave a 0 remainder. So even numbers are the whole numbers that have digits 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8 in their ones place. So what's next? So let's figure out the next missing numbers in a given figure of a sequence of even numbers. The first one, 32, 34, 36, 38. So what will be the next two numbers? It should be 40 and 42. Very good. Number 2, 90, 92. The next missing number, 96, 98, and then followed by, okay, so for the first missing number, we have 94, and then 98, and then 100. Number 3, 100, 102, 104. So what will be the next two missing numbers? And then 110. Okay, the answer is 106 followed by 108. Number 4, blank, 124, 126, 128, another missing number, and 130. So for this sequence of even numbers, we have here 122 and 130. Okay, for the last one, number 5, 268, 270, and then blank, 274, blank, 270. So what will be the missing number here? So we have here 272 and then 276. Did you get the same answer? Okay, great. Now you know that all of these numbers are what we call an even number. So as you can see, we need to know the different patterns or rules before we get the next number in a sequence. Now let's go to the sequence of multiples of a number. So when we say multiples of a number, usually refer to skip counting. So what's next in the sequence of multiples of a number? The first one, 15, 20, 25, 30. What will be the next two numbers? So it will be followed by 35 and 40. So how did you get that answer? So for number 1, we have multiples of 5. Okay, for number 2, 90, 100. What will be the next? 120, 130. So what's the next? Okay, great. The answer is 110 and 140. In that example, we are in the multiples of 10. Okay, very good. Number 3, 112, 124, 136 blank and 172. So what will be the answer? Okay, for that, we have 148 followed by 160. As you can see in number 3 example, we are in the multiples of 12. Great. For number 4, okay, what's next? So, or what will be the first number followed by 124, 126, 128. What's next? And then 132. Okay, great. It will be 122 and 130. So, in this example, number 4, we are in the multiples of 2. Okay, great. Last number 5, 280, 300. What will be the next? 340. What will be the next number again? And then 380. Okay, great. It will be 320 followed by 360. So, as you can see in our number 5, we are in the multiples of 20. Okay, we just like, so we can say that multiples of a number is just like we are going to have our skip counting. Okay, next, let's have some fundamental operations now. So what's next in the pattern? So we have 76, 72, 68, 64, and then the 2 missing numbers. What will be our 2 missing numbers? So in this example, we are in the pattern by 4. So our subtraction, we need to subtract each digit by 4. Just like here, 76 minus 4 equals 72. 72 minus 4 equals 68 rather. 68 minus 4 equals 64. 64 minus 4 is 60, and 60 minus 4 is equal to 56. So our next 2-digit number there is 60 and 56. So as you can see, we use the fundamental operation, which is subtraction. Okay, next, let's have another example. Also in fundamental operations. What's next in the pattern? 80, 74, 68, 62, and then the 2 missing numbers. So what is our pattern there? So our pattern is subtraction by 6. So let's see. 80 minus 6 equals 74. 74 minus 6 equals 68. 68 minus 6 equals 62. Now what is 62 minus 6? The answer is 56. And then 56 minus 6 is equal to 50. So our answer here will be 56 and 50. Very good. So our fundamental operations use is subtraction. Okay, let's have another example in fundamental operations. What's next in the pattern? 2, 6, 18, and 54. So our pattern here is already shown, which is multiplication by 3. So 2 times 3 is equal to 6. 6 times 3 is equal to 18. 18 times 3 is 54. So what is 54 times 3? The answer is 162. And then 162 times 3 is equal to 486. So our answer here is 162 and 486. Next, fundamental operations. What's next in the pattern? 12, 24, 48, 96, blank and blank. So our pattern here is multiplication by 2. So 12 times 2 equals 24. 24 times 2 equals 48. 48 times 2 equals 96. So what will be 96 times 2? It will be 192. And 192 times 2 is 384. So our answer here is 192 and 384. Great. Now let's proceed for another fundamental operation. What's next in the pattern? 3,125, 625, 125, 25, and then the 2 missing numbers. So our pattern here is division by 5. So 3,125 divided by 5 is equal to 625. 625 divided by 5 is equal to 125. 125 divided by 5 is equal to 25. Now, 25 divided by 5 is equal to 5. And then 5 divided by 5 is equal to 1. So, the next missing numbers is 5 and 1. Next, another fundamental operation. What's next in the pattern? 384, 192, 96, 48, and then 2 missing numbers. So, our pattern is division by 2. 384 divided by 2 is equal to 190. 192 divided by 2 is equal to 96. 96 divided by 2 is equal to 48. 48 divided by 2 is equal to 24. And the last one, 24 divided by 2 is equal to 12. So our next two missing numbers is 24 and 12. Now let's go to the properties of operations. So the first properties that we are going to use is what we call commutative property of addition. So in the commutative property of addition, it states that the order of the addends does not change the sum. So let's have an example here. 12 plus 6 is equals to 6 plus, what will be the next number? The answer is 12. Very good. It shows that even we change the order of the addends, the sum is still the same. Next, 23 plus blank is equals to 15 plus 23. The answer is 15. Great. Another one, 33 plus blank plus 40 is equals to 40 plus blank plus 33 rather plus 25. So what will be the answer? The answer is 25. So that's the first property that we have. So commutative property of addition. The next property is the commutative property of multiplication. It states that the order of the factors does not change the product. So let's have an example. 12 times 6 is equal to 6 times. Okay, good. 12. 33 times blank is equal to 10 times 33. Great, it is 10. Next, 13 times blank times 10 is equal to 10 times 13 times 5. So what will be the answer there? Okay, 5. Very good. Now, another properties of operations, which is the associative property of addition. It states that the grouping of the addends does not change the sum. So let's have the first one. 5 plus the sum of 11 and 14 is equal to the sum of 5 plus 11 plus blank. So what will be the missing number in our equation there? The answer is 14. Great. The next one, open and close parenthesis, 25 plus 31 plus 45 is equal to 25 plus open parenthesis, blank plus 45 close parenthesis. What will be the next number? Or what will be the number that you should use in the equation? Okay, the answer is 31. The next one, 90 plus open parenthesis, blank plus 204 close parenthesis is equal to open parenthesis 90 plus 120 close parenthesis plus 204. So what's the answer there? Okay, great. It's 120. Okay, the next property that we discuss or we have is the associative property of multiplication. States that the grouping of the factors does not change the product. So 3 times the open parenthesis of 10 times 14 close parenthesis is equal to open parenthesis 3 times 10 close parenthesis times what will be the number there? Should be 14. Very good. The next one, 15 or open and close parenthesis 15 times 30 times 25 is equal to 15 times open parenthesis blank times 25 close parenthesis. The answer is 30. Great. And the last example, 90 times open parenthesis blank times 20 close parenthesis is equal to open and close parenthesis 90 times 100 times 20. So what will be the next number, or what will be the number that we should use in the equation? It should be 100. Great. Now let's have another property, which is the distributive property of multiplication over addition. It states that the product of a number and a sum is equal to the same, or the sum of the products of the number and each of the adults. Let's have some example here. Number 1, so you can see 7 times 3. Now, what will be the next number? As we use the distributive property, the next one is 7 times 7. The next one, there. So, we have the given 10 times 6, just distribute. So, it should be 10 times 5. The next number, so you can see here, so we have, we distribute what number in 8 and 4? The number is 20. Great. So, it shows the distributive property of multiplication over addition. Now, for the other properties of operations, we have identity property of addition. It states that when 0 is added to a number, the result is the number itself. For example, 10 plus 0 is equal to, what will be the answer? 10. Very good. Blank plus 0 is equal to 45. So, the answer is 45. The next, 101 plus blank is equal to 101. What's the answer? 0. Great. Next is the properties of operation, which is the identity property of multiplication. When a number is multiplied by 1, the result is the number itself. Let's have some example. 40 times 1 is equal to 40. Blank times 1 is equal to 75. Great, 75. 151 times blank is equal to 151. The answer is 1. Okay, very good. Another properties of operation is the 0 property of multiplication. So the product of any number and 0 is 0. The first one, 80 times 0. So what will be the answer? Okay, great. It should be 0. Next, 120 times 0 is also 0. 659 times blank is equal to 0. What is the answer? Okay, great. It's a 0. So, that's the 0 property of multiplication. Now, let's have some activities to ponder so that I can also know if you really understand our lesson for today. So, for our activities, you need to determine the missing term or terms in the following sequences. The first one, we have 10, 12, 14, blank, blank, 20. Next, 24, 48, 72. What is the next two missing numbers? And then 144. Then 211, missing number. 215, 217, missing number. 221, 220. Followed by 676, 670, missing number. 658, 652, another missing number. And for the last one, 2, 10, 50, and then what is the next two missing numbers? So just comment your answer in the comment section below. I'll be giving you 1 minute to do this activity. And your timer starts now. Okay, grade 4, be careful, ha? You should look the different patterns that we have in the different examples or given numbers. So for number 1, I'll be giving you a clue. It is a multiples of 2. Great. And then for the next one, we also have that numbers 24, 48, 72. We have that the multiples of 24. The third one, or the third example, which is 211. As you can see, all of the numbers are in odd numbers. So you have 8 seconds left. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So let's see if we have the same answer. So for the first one, we have 16 and 18. For the next, for number 2, for the next pattern, we have 24, 48, 72, 96, 120, and 144. The next one, 211, 213, 215, 217, 219, 221, and 220. Followed by number 4, which is 676, 670, 664, 658, 652, and 646. So in this sequence of a number, we can see a pattern by subtraction or subtracting by 6. The next one, 2, 10, 50, 250, and then 1,250. So do we get the same answer here? Great. It really shows that you listen very well in our discussion. So let's have another activity. So this time, you need to supply the missing number in each of the following equations. So we already discussed the different fundamental operations and properties of the different fundamental operations. So now let's try if you can answer the following numbers. So for number 1, we have 5 plus 9 plus 12 is equal to blank plus 9 plus 5. The next number, 45 times 0 equals to blank. The next one, 25 times 10 is equals to blank times 25. For the fourth one, 16 times open parenthesis, 7 times 13 close parenthesis is equal to open parenthesis 16 times blank close parenthesis times 13. And for the last number 5, 22 times open parenthesis 5 plus 11 close parenthesis is equal to open parenthesis 22 times blank close parenthesis plus open parenthesis 22 times 11 close parenthesis. So again, I'll be giving you 1 minute to do these activities. Okay, try to recall the different properties of operations that we discussed a while ago, so that you can easily supply the missing number in each of the following equations. Okay, 30 seconds left. Okay, 10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So let's see if we get the same answer. So for the first one, 5 plus 9 plus 12 is equal to 12 plus 9 plus 5. The number 2, 45 times 0 is 0. So that's the 0 property of multiplication. Next, 25 times 10 is equals to blank times 25. So the answer is 10 times 25. So that is the commutative property of multiplication. Then 16 times open parenthesis 7 times 13 equals open parenthesis 16 times 7 close parenthesis times 13. Great. Next, 22 times open parenthesis 5 plus 11 is equals to open parenthesis 22 times 5 close parenthesis plus 22 times 11. So that's the distributive property of multiplication over addition. Okay, now what will you always remember? So grade 4, always remember to determine the missing term or terms in a sequence of numbers. Find the pattern or rule of the pattern. The following are some of the rules applied in patterns. We have a sequence of odd numbers, a sequence of even numbers, a sequence of multiples of a numbers, and also some fundamental operations. Always remember that rules. Now, let's proceed to the question and answer portion. So if you have questions, clarifications in our discussion today, kindly type in the section or in the comment section below. So I have read one question here. So teacher, what is the fundamental operations. So always remember when we say fundamental operations, it is also our 4 basic operations, which is addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. Do we have another question there? Okay, so it seems that you don't have any questions or clarification in our discussion. So we can now proceed in your home learning task or activity. You need to answer your assessment in quarter 3, module 5 in page 12, and answer what I can do and assessment in quarter 3, module 6 in page 8. So if you don't have a soft copy of your module or hard copy, kindly screenshot the following pages. So for the first one is here for your assessment. Match the pattern to its rule. Write the letter of the correct answer on your notebook. So kindly screenshot this one so that you can answer this. Okay, next is to study the figures and fill in the box with the missing term. Okay, are you done? Okay, next. What I can do on a separate sheet of paper, fill in the blank, the missing number or numbers that will make the equations true using the properties of mul or of operations. Okay, for the last assessment, give the property of operations used in each equation, then write the missing number. Okay, so by that, once again, thank you so much, grade 4. And I will be leaving you this quotation. So math may not teach me how to add love or subtract it, but it gives me hope that every problem has a solution. So once again, thank you so much, grade 4. I'm Ma'am Rosemarina Mukadkat from Parada Elementary School. Goodbye, everyone, and keep safe.